Reylo fans said Anakin and Padme were toxic. Yet, Reylo was built on wanting to kill each other. I don't know any Reylos that say that.
Write stories about it, you draw porn of it. It's a whole community of people that ship fictional characters. Now, the one I want to talk about today is Reylo Fandom. Reylo is Kylo Ren and Rey from the new Star Wars trilogy. They've been shipping him since the first movie, and in the new movie, something has happened that has completely destroyed a large portion of the Reylo fans and made them lose their fucking mind. They're ready to watch the world burn. Now, the things I'm going to show you do contain spoilers for The Rise of Skywalker, so just fair warning, there's spoilers for the new movie. And yes, I know this isn't representative of the entire Reylo fandom or everyone who jerks off to Star Wars fanfic. I'm well aware this is only a portion of that community that has completely gone off the deep end and fucking balls deep into straight anarchy and just ready to turn the world into Mad Max. I get that it's only a portion, but it's definitely worth talking about because it's a true meltdown on Twitter that is fucking everywhere right now. I can't fucking stand how I put my life on the line for The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi just for J.J. Abrams to do this to me. Where does he live? I'm literally going to kill him. How delusional do you have to be to think that going to a luxury movie theater and sitting in a comfortable recliner, stuffing your fucking face with popcorn and gummy bears is somehow laying your life on the line? The only thing you're risking in that scenario is more diabetes? Yet this person talks about it like it's a fucking Vietnam flashback about how they laid life and limb down for their country and what they believe in. You paid for a fucking ticket to a movie that's one of the most popular franchises of all time and you gave money to one of the most powerful corporations in the world. You're not some type of hero. You're not like the rebels in the movie or something. You did genuinely the bare minimum that a human being could possibly do to show support for something that they kind of care about. Also, you're going to notice a common theme with all these tweets. They all threaten to murder J.J. Abrams in various ways, so clearly very sane, non-toxic fandom here. Now, in the spirit of full transparency, I fucking hate having to black out or censor someone's Twitter handle or name. I don't like people going to harass other people for stupid shit, but if you're going to publicly make these goofy death threats and then actually dox and harass the actors, directors, and shit and post about it publicly, you should have that luxury of anonymity completely waived. But with the new YouTube policies, Twitter policies and shit, I'm not going to take the chance of having...
Yeah, so he's only doing it because of the policies. People do this all the time on X. They screenshot each other and retweet because there's no reasoning with a person like that.
Their names on display, so I'm going to show you a little quick phase montage of I'm going to murder J.J. Abrams tweets because I can't differentiate reality from fiction and I'm a...
Okay, so clearly these are responses to Ben Solo's death. That's what this is. Because look at the date. 20th December 19... I can't read. 21 December 2019. December 21st. So this is when The Rise of Skywalker was released, and everybody saw what happened to Ben Solo, including myself.
Monster. Unfortunately, this is only the tip of the iceberg. There's so many more, but a lot of them get really sad and really personal. Some people hired actual professional therapists to talk through their anger, depression, and sadness due to The Rise of the Skywalker, Kylo Ren's death. That is just so fucking sad, and I can't even wrap my head around it. And I honestly can't even blame them in particular. I feel like it's just Twitter in general rewards being a superfan. Again, I use this example a lot, but K-pop stans. K-pop stans are constantly in this own, like, civil war.
I mean, is that probably like a healthy response? Probably not. What he's failing to point out is that if you don't have a lot in your life that keeps you going, you cling to stories, fantasy, and then when you feel like the creators have like betrayed you because they've done your character dirty, it's understandable to have a strong reaction. Now, it's different than making a death threat over it. And I know most of these people probably don't mean literally they would stab J.J. Abrams. I think they just mean they would like scream at him. I mean, because people tell each other all the time like, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill you. Like, when you say like, I'm going to kill him, that don't actually mean I'm going to murder this person. How many people did you ever grow up in a household and you screwed up big time? And you were like, oh no, my mom's going to kill me. Okay, obviously your mother is not going to murder you. My mother is amazing. She would never do that.
Where there's fucking cannibalism, eating each other to be the biggest possible stalker of something they like. And I feel like that's contaminated all of these fandoms. Like, look how much I cared. I'm getting therapy because I'm so upset. Look at me. I quit my job because I'm so upset. And then some people, after the premiere, started crying, asking for refunds, and melting down in the movie theater with people around them. And then they, of course, take to the actors and actresses and people involved and do some really bad stuff. Look how big of a fan I am. I'm trying to hurt the people that made this not the way I wanted it. It's really scary, sad shit. I barely ate today. It's 2:40 a.m. and I'm not even sleepy. What the fuck is wrong with me? Oh my god, you'll be hearing from my lawyers at JJ Abrams. Yeah, I'm sure that's just what JJ Abrams is. Yeah, JJ, why didn't you ask her how the movie should be written? What is wrong with you?
Okay, so here we're getting into like non-death threat comments, okay? Because these are not all insane, okay? JJ Abrams, allow me to ask what the F you think you're doing. I have to approach this as a Christian because there are certain practices and behaviors and things that, especially in our words, we're not supposed to be saying stuff like this, okay? We're supposed to be demonstrating Christ-like behavior. Now, do we always do a great job of that? Most of the time, no, myself included. And especially when you engage in secular entertainment, you start opening yourself up to, non-spiritual discussions. It's easier to start sounding like the world, to just kind of separate Christ out of the picture completely. And you're like, what does Jesus have to do with this? What I'm saying is, no Christian should be talking like this. I have said things like this before and it's out of line. But even that said, let's just put that aside for a second. Even if you're not a Christian, like, is it kind? Maybe? No. But is it a valid question? Possibly. JJ Abrams, F you, bring back Ben Solo. With kind regards, Matt. Currently feeling very emotional and vulnerable due to the new Star Wars. F you, JJ Abrams, for making me feel like this. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean I hope you die. Most people are not like that. This is the nature of internet comments. Still working through my anger. What's wrong with a statement like that? I made my YouTube channel primarily because I wanted to talk about movies at first. And then when The Rise of Skywalker came out, I was like a lot of fans. I was very upset at what happened to Ben Solo. Not only Ben Solo, but just the whole trilogy. Like that, the whole sequel trilogy makes me mad. I have tried to enjoy it, and there are things I like about it. There are things I can watch it and enjoy it. But that's almost entirely because of the characters. Also because it looks good, it sounds good. It is a Star Wars project, so it still exists in that universe. But ultimately, I'm still unhappy. I don't know if I'd say angry, but I'm still unhappy about what happened.
I'm not going to show you all of it. There's also an entire long case of Reylo fans that doxed and stalked Adam Driver. One of them went as far as to give him a wood carving of his dog at an unwanted gift. Wood carving his dog. That's some Ed Gein shit. I guarantee she probably clipped some hair when he wasn't looking and she's trying to clone him or making like a bubblegum tribute in her closet like Helga from Hey Arnold. That is some crazy stalkery shit. And when I say they doxed and harassed his family, I don't mean they just found out where he lives and they started sending weird or creepy letters, which would have been bad enough, terrible enough. They went as far as to try and get Adam Driver to divorce his wife to go fall in love with Daisy Ridley in the real world. So they'd make up all these...
Okay, like most sane, normal fans don't condone any of this kind of behavior. Okay, but fans acting crazy exists in every fandom. There have been stories about fans doing this in so many fandoms. Now I can't possibly keep track. Nobody can. It has less to do with the fandom and more to do with that person's mental health and their grip on reality. You can pick anything in entertainment and media, especially fiction, anything that's fictionalized, and get obsessive about it to the point where you behave in a ridiculous way, even a way that gets sociopathic or, psychologically just disturbed. That's why, this is why I hate titles like this. Reylo Fandom has gone insane. No, it hasn't. Mentally unstable people have taken things way too far. It doesn't mean that Reylo as a concept is bad. It doesn't mean that the Reylo Fandom has gone insane. So this title... it's just really misleading. And I understand why he wrote it like that. Like, this is a good hook. That's a good hook to get me watching. I mean, because it did get me watching, because I wanted to find out. Because personally, I don't understand why people think this guy gives anything really that worth of value to YouTube. Like, I see his videos. I'm like, what do you have to offer? I'm not saying he couldn't offer something. I'm sure he's smart and educated and can do a lot of things. And he's better at YouTube than I'll ever be. But ultimately, as for me, tuning in and why would I want to watch this stuff? What's the appeal? I don't get the appeal here.
These crazy rumors about his wife, about how she cheated on him and shit like this to try and stir up drama to cause a controversy to get him to divorce her.
Yeah, most Reylos, I don't know. I've seen only an occasional comment about people trying to get Adam Driver to hook up with Daisy Ridley. And it's such a tiny percentage, 0.01% maybe, that would ever even consider something like that. Now, if they were single, sure, why not ship them? Whatever. I don't care. They're actors. Do what you want. Just because they have good chemistry, though, doesn't mean that they need to be together.
So that way they could go fall in love with Daisy to, they could jerk off from public knowledge until it accidentally leaks that I can't even begin to believe truly exist. It's unreal. And the scariest part is they totally think that they're in the right, and they're blaming Adam Driver and J.J. Abrams, and they're actually wishing harm upon them and taking steps to try and do things about this anger that they have built up inside of them. A couple of women went on Twitter talking about how they quit work because they were so mentally drained from seeing the movie and so emotionally destroyed. These people's lives are being ruined by a movie that they invested so much into for no reason. The fan base that the new Star Wars trilogy...
Yeah, but okay, this is the problem with, I think, us as men when we criticize how women react to things, because we can get passionate and excited about fiction too, but he's making a judgment call about the proportion of their response to, what happened. And in other words, I don't think he's doing a good job of trying to understand what it's like to be a fan of something like this and to feel betrayed. Because that's how fans like myself feel. We feel betrayed by J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio and anybody that had anything to do with the ending for Ben Solo. We feel betrayed. Now, does that mean that I think J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, all these guys are terrible people? Absolutely not. Because I'm a reasonable person. And I can separate fiction from reality. And I know that at the end of the day, they're just trying to make movies. And would I like to understand why they did what they did? Sure. They haven't really explained themselves. That whole team hasn't really done much of anything to explain what happened. They've been very secretive about a lot of the Rise of Skywalker. So I don't know. I guess it goes back to this idea of like your feelings are valid. The reaction, your behavior doesn't have to be validated, because the behavior is where you might actually do something really wrong. People having a strong reaction like they are, it's completely valid as long as they're not doing anything wrong. I mean, if they're saying something that's akin to a death threat, obviously that's not cool. But I don't think he's actually even attempting to understand their perspective. And it's probably because he didn't care about the ending, or he didn't agree with it, or he was fine with it, whatever. But there's a lot of fans that really liked Ben Solo and really liked Reylo and like wanted that ending to be better, especially considering Star Wars has this consistent theme of hope, and that did not feel hopeful. That did not feel like, for the conclusion of the entire saga, we're going to say that's it. I haven't stopped talking about this. It's 2024, okay? The movie's been out for almost 5 years, and I'm still talking about it because I'm waiting for them to fix it, because there's still a path forward. If I didn't think that, I would stop talking about it. If I didn't think there was still a possibility Ben could come back, and even though, yes, I know what Adam Driver has said and blah, 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 I still think it could happen. There's still good evidence to support it because there's precedent for it. There's precedent for his return. All right, I don't know. I don't really care what else he has to say.
But it has such a large, extremely dangerous run. There's nothing wrong with shipping and all this fanfic and the Reylo in general, but it has such a large number of people that are really disconnected from reality and are really upset that the movie didn't go exactly the way they wanted, that they're doing some really crazy shit to the actors, actresses, and the people behind the scenes. Even people who even just worked on the set are getting attacked by this fandom. Some of them are, they found... Okay, I don't want to dox the person, but they found one person who does some of the visuals for The Rise of Skywalker. They're actively trying to have them blacklisted from Hollywood. It's crazy what they're doing. I'm not going to show you any of those things because that's getting a little too deep and personal into some of these people. And again, I don't want to take any chances with the whole harassment thing, but it is nuts what's going on with a good portion of the Reylo fan base. I don't want there to be any confusion. I think it's totally healthy and natural to get invested in pieces of fiction, TV shows, movies. I do as well, very much so. But to take it to this level, to this unhealthy degree, to the fact where it seems you can't differentiate what's real and what's not, that's dangerous. And to take it as some type of call to arms to ruin people's real lives about the movie or show that you didn't like the way it finished or you didn't like the way it went, that's just outright lunacy. Again, I know it's not the entire fandom of Reylo or the people that ship the fictional characters, I get it. But it is a decent portion.
I'm sorry. How are you measuring this? When you say a decent portion, exactly how many out of the entire Reylo fandom are you calculating here? Is it 50%? Is it 40%? How are we talking? If it's 5%, then shut up, because it doesn't matter. 5% of the Reylo fandom, now that's still more than I think it should be. 5% doesn't even matter. 1% definitely doesn't matter. And I guarantee you it's probably about 1%, okay? Saying it's a decent portion of the fandom is just completely misleading. You have no idea, bro. You have no idea how many Reylos there are. You have no idea how many of them have participated in this kind of behavior. And he's not making a distinction between people who are saying things like, J.J. Abrams, what the F, with J.J. Abrams, I'm going to kill you. That's a completely different thing you're saying. I mean, I'm in that camp saying, J.J. Abrams, what the heck, man? Like, why? I actually like J.J. Abrams as a creator. He's directed some good stuff. I like a lot of what he makes. I think he's very flawed in some of the things he writes and does. He's not even making like a clear distinction here. And if he really believed what he was saying, he would not have titled it like this, because that's clickbaity. He's not actually breaking it down fairly. Notice this is the end of the video. He's saying all these things to kind of bring things around here. Oh, well, I know it's not everybody.
Enough so that Adam Driver himself is afraid of them. John Boyega's been in a fucking Twitter war for the last like 48 hours. It's nuts.
Yeah, John Boyega, man. I don't know what it is about that guy, but he seemed to have like the biggest chip on his shoulder about Reylo. And frankly, I'm kind of tired of the dude. Like everything he says sounds on social media, it sounds really entitled. I definitely agree that his character deserved way better. But guess what, bro? Join the club. Join the freaking club. Every character in the entire sequel trilogy deserved better. You're not the only one. Rey deserved better. Ben deserved better. Luke deserved better. Han deserved better. Leia deserved better. Heck, I did a video about Tali Lentra, who had 20-something seconds of screen time. Okay? Join the club. He's just adding fuel to the fire. I mean, his character clearly liked Rey. That was evident in the first film. But that's not the direction they went in. And honestly, I don't mind. I've said it before. Like, I don't mind the ship of Rey and Finn. Sorry, Rey and Finn. I don't mind that ship. I just think that it's not as interesting and not as compelling as Reylo. Because I like the idea of enemies to lovers is a fascinating concept, and it's been around for a while in literature, and it's not really something I've seen in Star Wars that much. And there's so interesting. There's just so many threads to unravel here. But yeah, I mean, dude, John Boyega is just like, he kind of just comes across as a bit of a hater to me about like, I think he just feels like his character should have gotten the girl, he should have been the Jedi and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's called the Skywalker saga. Unless Finn is directly related to any of these characters, like any of the legacy characters, then he's not entitled to be the main character. And Rey makes sense because of her being connected to Palpatine, but originally she was supposed to be connected to somebody like Kenobi or whatever. And then you have Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, who is a Skywalker, who rightfully has a serious place in this story. So it makes more sense in my mind. Anyways.
It is absolutely nuts. And I don't think it's only Star Wars. I think it's now just kind of the norm to be an unhealthily obsessed superfan over some hail corporate shit. Because it's Star Wars. It's not like some underdog franchise that really tries to, unite people or deliver a powerful message anymore. It's by the numbers stuff, just generic stuff that doesn't really aim to do anything incredible, and yet people are still hailing it as something huge, like this is a giant movement that we need to support. Come on, we're heroes if we go see this movie. Let's lay our lives on the line to sit in a movie theater and support it. It's just sad. It's really sad to get that invested in something and people that don't care about you and only view you as a number. I don't know. I don't get it, and I just wanted to talk.
Okay, so it seems like his point is that it's a sad thing to get this invested to where it evokes this stronger response over something that is definitely intended to just make money off of you. I get that. That's a valid point, okay? But again, I think he's oversimplifying this.
Talk about it a little bit because it is all over my Twitter timeline. So yeah, that's about it. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. Well, that's all I got for now. I don't know.